Hey, this is Mr. Hendrickson, and this is the Conceptual Physics Lens Prelab. This prelab will guide you through how to find the focal length of your lens, and also how to take your measurements, and eventually how to plot those measurements and find the equation of the line you plotted. In the first part of this lab, you're going to find the focal length of your lens by placing the object or light bulb at some distance in front of the lens, hopefully at the focal length. Once your bulb is at the focal point, that light will move through the lens and be projected onto a screen. What you'll see is a circle that will not change in shape or size no matter how close you move the screen towards or away from the lens. If you see a change in the circle, you are not at the focal length. The second method to find the focal length is to get a partner to stand a far distance away with the flashlight. Shine the flashlight straight into the lens and introduce parallel light rays. Once you introduce parallel light rays, move the card on the other side until those parallel light rays are concentrated down to a singular point. As you see here, there's a very small white dot on the screen. You're looking for a very tiny concentrated dot. Once you've found the focal lengths, it's time to set the object and image distances. You'll start out 100 centimeters away with the object, and then you'll simply slide the screen until you see the image formed. There's that ghost that should look familiar from the mirror lab. Then you'll simply measure that length as your image length, and you'll also measure on the other side the distance that the ghost and bulb were away from the lens. That is your object length. You'll take those pieces of data and use them in the graph. Also, for your focal length, you should remember, just as in the mirror lab, once you're ready to graph, go into your iPad and select the graphical analysis app. Just as we've done before, you're going to go ahead and pick Create Experiment, Manual Entry. You'll see this very familiar setup here. You'll want to go ahead and start by entering your data into the horizontal and vertical columns. Again, pick column option. Simply change the titles and the units. Be careful here because you are taking the inverse of the image and object distances. So there is a unit for those values. So you'll go ahead, place those in the appropriate location. You're going to do the same thing for the dependent axis. Carefully make sure you put in the correct title and unit. Then from there, go ahead and simply click in the cells and enter the data that you collected and calculated during the course of the lab. Once all your data is inputted, go ahead to one graph. As we've done before, make sure you highlight all of your data points just by swiping over them with your finger, and then make sure you select a linear curve fit. You'll notice the line drop over the top. The little box with the equation of the line will be on there as well. Make sure you click in the lower left corner and give your graph a title. Make sure to name it Dependent versus Independent. Once your graph is titled and you can see the box with the linear fit data, including your slope, then you are ready to go ahead and take a screenshot of the graph. Then go ahead, move to the table, get a screenshot of the table, and then from there, go ahead, open your Notability, and you can go ahead and start a new note. Drop in your two pictures of your graph and of your table. Once your table and graph are in, please make sure you give a sample calculation of how you found your DI and DO, or inverse of DI and inverse of DO, in the space underneath that table. And then move towards the graph, and as always, based on the best fit line, go ahead and drop the equation of the line over the top of that graph. Again, be careful of the variables you're using and units as well here. Then you can go ahead and share the PDF into Schoology, where there will be an assignment for your class to submit this. And that's it. This should seem pretty familiar. If you have any questions, please talk to your instructor. Good luck. Make sure, as with all labs, read all the directions. Do not skip any steps. Do not skip any questions. If you're stuck or don't understand what to do, watch this video again or ask your teacher. Good luck.